Welcome to this video. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and activate the bell, and let us leave you with an enjoyable watch. Why are there are many skyscrapers in Europe as in Asia? Europe's skyscrapers, despite being one of the most developed continents and overlooking the population and prosperity in the economic and industrial situation. But a few skyscrapers in Europe making it surprising, especially when compared to Asia and North America. Europe is among 218 skyscrapered on the continent so far. There are 66% in only 5 cities: London, Paris, Frankfurt, Moscow, and Istanbul. So why did not the other major European cities embrace skyscrapers? Especially with the availability of vast areas of land can be used to build modern and sophisticated zipper skyscrapers and have not seen the world instance. Why does European countries do not care about the construction of skyscrapers as Asia and North America? When the skyscrapers emerged for the first time in the 19th century, first in Chicago and then later in New York, many European cities have already emerged from major historical buildings and places. Unless he leaves a great area for new huge structures, most European cities at the time were also more balanced in terms of population and population distribution on the ground. And there was no growing tall on land spaces in major areas that are usually the development of outrageous urbanization sites. In addition, when North America's strength and influence began growth, a cultural competition between Americans who saw the class Europe and Europeans who saw some American examples as undermined tradition and the style of European life. As a result, each continent became careful to build the concepts of others. While North America aims to become a new era model, Europe sought to preserve its urban and historical heritage. While this explains why the construction of skyscrapers in Europe is not prevalent, but it does not explain why the continent has declined since then. Post-war reconstruction in the wake of World War II, many believe that European cities will update and repeat the skyscrapers that were rising throughout North America. However, in Western Europe, where many cities lost historical features and a prominent historical structures prevailed in a refuge in restoring what was destroyed. Europe after the war. In addition, the population in Europe at the time was a reason for people to build modest buildings and move away from the construction of giant structures. In the meantime, in Eastern Europe, the efforts to rebuild the Soviet Union have been largely composed of medium-sized frequent structures that have sought to resettle many residents. During this time, Europe has seen its first skyscrapers to begin to rise, is not a response to growth and prosperity, but in an attempt from Soviets to refer to their strength and effect. Brussels city responsible for lack of skyscrapers in Europe. Without any significant areas, the 60s have demolished many buildings in Brussels to make room for large and modern buildings that did not have any consideration of architectural or cultural value. Recognizing the damage caused by this indiscriminate recycling of the city, many prominent figures and architects are formulated and pressing new planning rules. Brussels limited these regulations significantly from the size of new buildings and requested the restoration and integration of historical interfaces in new developments, which maintains the cultural fabric of the city. The dispute in Brussels led to a general hatred of modern buildings throughout Europe, where they considered many poor or no spirit. In response, many cities have adopted similar regulations and sculpted regulated areas such as La Devins in Paris to keep high-rise buildings from historical centers. The urban age. By the beginning of the 21st century, positions on high-rise buildings fell throughout the continent. Textural trends on funds were shown to further designs with more discriminated designs as globalization in the world since the early first decade of the current century. The major financial centers such as London, Paris, Moscow, Istanbul and Frankfurt have increased the number of skyscrapers with increased demand for commercial spaces in their positions. In contrast, the younger European cities, which have experienced modest growth, have been focused on the environment and improved living standards for citizens. In recent years, urban areas in Scandinavia and Central Europe ranked first among the world's highest areas in terms of sustainability. happiness and luxury while maintaining their economic importance in the country. However, the construction of skyscrapers in today's cities is no longer driven by economic growth or the need for commercial office space. With 60% of the world's population will live in urban areas by 2030, residential skyscrapers are now already especially throughout Asia and North America. Because many traditional rural industries have become automated, migrate millions to major urban cities and regions, leading to increased demand for residential areas that often be alleged by high-rise buildings. However, with the desire to maintain as much as possible and architectural architecture to this day, the unique challenge facing the construction of future skyscrapers in Europe concerns the past. And thanks for watching the video. Goodbye.